our people just throw trash down on the ground. All right, and our people don't understand. Look, when we was in Israel, we had beach fronts. We had everything you could possibly think of. Give me Zephaniah 2 and 6. Give me that Colossians 3 and 17 real quick.
It's the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord, YAHAWAH, giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Right, so everything we do is in word and deed through what? Through Christ, who we call Hamashiach in the ancient Hebrew, which is the Messiah. YAHAWAH is his name in the ancient Hebrew, which is similar to his father's, which is Yahawah. Okay, so everything we do is through him. Okay, now I just spoke about how we throwing our trash down the ground. When we first got here, there was an older brother about 75. He was telling us, man, look at Oakland. Look at, you can tell where our people live. They throw trash on the ground wherever they go. From one city to the next, you see the same thing. I was in Baltimore 2 weeks ago. I'm in the hood in Baltimore. It's the same thing over there. You see trash all over the ground. Our people are not taught as children to clean up what behind them, and you see it here in the streets of Oakland. It's the same thing. We should be taking care of what we have. All right, give me Zephaniah 2 and 6. Read that out.
Book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 6. And the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds.
Right. So when we go back to the land, when we get the power, when we get back into the kingdom, we're gonna have beach coasts. We ain't gonna be throwing trash and stuff all over the beach coast. Read that again, huh?
Book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 6. Come down, Samad. Thank you. And the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds and folds for flocks. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. Right, so everything we have, like you see the beach coast here, you go to San Francisco, they got needles, syringes, all in the coast of the beach in San Francisco. Right? They try to clean it up, but you got people out there polluting. We ain't gonna have that when we go back to our land. So we're out here trying to wake up our people, saying there's something much better to come if you wake up. All right? There's something coming. All we gotta do is keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. All right? Through Christ. Everything is through his son, Christ. All right? If you keep the commandments, it has to be through Christ. He's the filter system. Okay? Without him, you can't keep the commandments. It's a two-part entity. You gotta keep the laws and you gotta follow Christ. All right? Give me Galatians 3 and go to the 11th verse. Read that. 28 and 1.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
Hearken means to listen diligently. Come on.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all his commandments.
To do what? To observe. To observe means to look and learn to do. Okay? Come on.
All his commandments, which I commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
Now, what's so hard about that? All he said was to do is to keep his law, statutes, and commandments. That's not very hard. Now, in this land called America, you keep laws, ordinances, okay, sections of ordinances. To a T, you try your best to keep it. I mean, all y'all upstanding citizens paying your taxes, law-abiding citizens paying your taxes. What's so hard about keeping God's laws? It's not hard, right? All he has, it used to be 613. But since Christ came, he did away with the sacrifices, so it's less than that, all right? But in America, you probably, let's just talk about it. In America, you're probably keeping well over 1,000 rules and regulations in this country.
Every day.
And every year they come out with new rules and regulations that change or what? Or amended based on the old laws. Okay? And you go right along keeping those rules. What's so hard about keeping God's rules? It's not hard at all. All he asks you to do really is follow 10 commandments first. The laws fall up under the commandments. It's like a book. You see the title of the book. Okay? The title is the commandment. You open the book, those are the laws as you read through the book. It's not hard. Being a homosexual is not part of the 10 commandments, but okay? Your pastor knows that tithing is not part of the commandments, but don't he tithe? That's a law. Okay? So it's a law part of the commandments. which we really don't have to keep that tithing law anymore because that was for the Levites in the Bible. That wasn't for everybody to be given tithes, all right? Abraham gave his tithes to a priest and a king, a high priest and a king, which was Melchizedek, all right? We don't have any Melchizedeks here. We don't have any high priests in our churches, okay? We just have, everybody should be considered a servant. Christ was a servant to the disciples. Give me that Hebrews 10, go to Hebrews 10. We gotta understand the scriptures. We come out to wake up our people because our people need it more than anything, okay? Hebrews 10 and 1. Actually, Hebrews 8 and 1. Go to Hebrews 8 and 1. Whoever gets it first. So, we gotta understand that there's rules and regulations when it comes to anything. In order to be an upstanding citizen, you gotta have a foundation, right? You go to school, from kindergarten through 12th grade, they're teaching you rules and regulations. You can't graduate unless you understand the basic understanding of education in America, right? It's idiotic to say all you gotta do is have faith and that's it, okay? In the book of the Bible, which is in every bookstore across America, you can go to the same verses that we pull out and it's there. I know what you're holding, but give me James 2 and 8. Read that real quick, Hebrews 8 and 1.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 1. Now of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such an high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens.
Right, so we only have a high priest where? In the heavens. We don't have any high priests in these churches. These Catholic priests, they are not the high priests of the Bible, okay? These preachers who call themselves bishops, they're not the high priests, all right? They ain't even bishops, they're just servants, really. They servants, just like you. They can mess up just like you can. They're just trying to get right with the scriptures, all right? Come on.
A minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man.
Who pitched it? The Most High pitched it, not man. Come on.
Verse 3. For every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices.
Right, so now Christ came and did away with the sacrifice. Now we don't have priests to offer or ordain gifts and sacrifices. Christ came and did away with all of that, right? But it doesn't mean that all the laws are done away with. You still got a dietary law that you have to keep. You see all the poor health situations our people are facing today? It's because they're not following the dietary law of God. It's in Leviticus chapter 11. The perfect diet for everybody. It's the perfect diet.
Don't eat pork.
It's the perfect diet. He tells you exactly what to eat, exactly what not to eat. But y'all want to follow Jenny Craig's system. Y'all want to follow the Atkins diet. Y'all want to follow all these different diets, but the perfect diet is in the Bible.
I was sitting up in class this week, this Edomite claiming to know the scriptures. This Edomite I told this Edomite pork is a filthy animal. Edomite gonna tell me it's not a filthy animal. Where do we say that in the Bible? I said go to Leviticus 11 and 7. Right? He went there. He talking about God just said it was unclean. That don't mean you can't eat it. I'm like, what the hell do you mean?
Well, it's common sense. So give me that. You have a choice. Yes, you do have a choice to eat to pollute your body. And you do have a choice to eat to keep your body clean. It's up to you. If you want to destroy your body, you have a choice. If you want to make your body clean, you have a choice. Now, if you pollute your body, you have to start thinking about what the lashbacks, the kickbacks, what's going to happen, right? Poor health, diabetes, cancer, hepatitis. All of that stuff going to come when you eat poorly, okay? Now, if you eat clean food, you don't have to worry about going to the doctor every 6 months because you're taking care of yourself. Read out.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter...
Going back to Hebrews. What I tell you to hold out?
Galatians.
Hebrews is the second verse.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 2. A minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle which the Lord pitched, and not man.
Okay.
For every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices. Wherefore it is of necessity that this man have somewhat also to offer. For if he were on earth,
if Christ was on earth today as a walking human being, come on,
he should not be a priest.
He shall not be what?
A priest.
That's how humble Christ is. He said if he was walking the earth today, he wouldn't want to be a priest. He wouldn't be a priest. He'd be a servant. Come on.
There are priests that offer gifts according to the law, who serve unto the example of the shadow of heavenly things.
Right.
As Moses was admonished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle, for see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern showed to thee in the mount.
So, okay, so basically, what he's saying with Moses brought the law. It was concrete. Christ showed us the fluidness of the law. It was the fluidness of it, okay? Brothers, when you had Pharisees back in the old days, or teachers or taskmasters, they would instruct you not to do certain things, and then if you broke it, they'd kill you based on judgments, okay? That's done away. The judgments is gone, the sacrifices are gone, all right? Now, what do we have left? We still have dietary laws. We still have what? Ceremonial laws, which is what? Passover. You can look at your calendar. If you purchase a calendar from any Walmart, Target, and you look through that book, you'll see Hanukkah still on there. You'll see the Day of Atonement still on there. You'll see Passover still on the calendar, right? But nobody follows that. That's biblical. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween is not biblical. Okay, it's actually demonic. Okay, when a man puts on woman's clothes, that's a vibration that's sending through that man's spirit, where he begins to act that way. It's the same thing with these costumes these children wear. When you wear that costume, you want to exemplify that spirit of whatever you're wearing.
That's idolatry.
That's a form of idolatry. Okay, that's what the Egyptians were doing. The Egyptians, they looked at that and they looked at idolatry or idolized Batman, right? Spider-Man, all those different things that you see, the cartoon characters, Spider-Man, Batman, Eagle Man, those are all idolatry worship, okay, which comes from Egypt. So you got to understand, when you read the scriptures, the Bible is clear and plain. It's trying to actually show you instructions on how to keep your soul and your spirit pure. Okay? We're out here talking to our people, the Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians first and foremost, because they're the most destroyed of all the people. They need to get this understanding and go to sleep in this truth and understand this truth and wake up in this truth. Okay? That's the whole point why we're out here. This brother was bringing out many things earlier, and we're just touching on it. Give me Galatians 3.
Hold that verse. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 13. Come down, Samad. Thank you. Christ have redeemed us from the curse of the law.
Okay, what part of the curse of the law? The sacrifices. All right, jump up to 8. Jump up to 8.
8 what? Chapter 2?
Same chapter.
Oh, same chapter, verse 8. And the scripture, verse 8. Book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 8. And the scripture, foreseeing that God would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying, in thee shall all nations be blessed.
Right, so Abraham came out of the heathen. Isaac came out of the heathen. Jacob came out of the heathen. You Israelites came out of Egypt, which was out of the heathen. You guys were calling yourselves heathen. Today we call our people heathen. They don't know who they are. Our people today call themselves Gentiles, not knowing who they are. All right? The children of Israel were always getting put in captivity and calling themselves after the Gentiles' names. They took on that whole mind frame. Yeah, they were calling themselves Romans. They were calling themselves Babylonians. Now they're calling themselves Americans, the Israelites. And we out here telling you, the Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians are the true biblical people of the Bible. You are the Israelites calling yourselves Americans, or calling yourselves Negroes, or calling yourselves Mexicans, or Puerto Ricans, or Haitians, right? But you are the true biblical people of the Bible. You are the Israelites. We come out here to wake up our people, to show them, look, this is you. When you read the Bible, that's you, okay? You got to understand that function in the ordinance of God by keeping his laws as priests and following your big brother, Christ. That was your big brother. He come out the same tribes as you come out. The American Indians, They are the tribe of Gad in the Bible. That's where they come from. All the people that we have on this sign right here, we've done much study, not just us, brothers before us, over 200, 300 years have done studies on, okay? And all these people come from these tribes. The American Indians, okay? The Puerto Ricans, the Haitians, the Colombians, Uruguayans, okay? The Chileans, the Haitians, the brothers from the West Indies. All these people come out the tribes of Israel. So we out here, this is a form of compassion and a form of love, us just coming out here telling you. And basically, we're yelling it, but really it's just a whisper, because y'all ain't really taking it in. It's really just a whisper, okay? Give me, what you holding?
Hey, James,
give me James 2. Got James 2 in there. And give me, Hosea 8:8.
Book of James, chapter 2, verse 8. If ye fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well.
A lot of us can't even do that law. He said if you just fulfill the royal, or sometimes they call it the moral law of the scripture. Stay in that chapter and go to the 11th verse. If you can't do that, then you can't do the rest. That's why Christ said the greatest 2 commandments are what? Love the Most High with all your heart and love your brother as you love yourself. But he never said that the commandments was done away with. He never said that all the laws were done away with. He only said the sacrifices was done away with. Read that 2 and 11.
Book of James, chapter 2, verse 11. For he that said...
They can't hear you. You need to speak it to the mic, right?
Book of James, chapter 2, verse 11. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now, if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law.
Right, so you can say you keeping the commandments, but if you break one commandment, then the other one goes void and null. Null and void. So you got to do them all. Come on.
So speak ye, and so do as they that shall be judged by the law of
like when you try to teach it, the law is just like, you know what it's like? It's like shame and disgust when they hear it. Like, oh man, I'm hearing this law, but I know the laws are done away with. Back in their minds, they fight.
You know what I don't like about like
1 John 5 and 3.
Yeah, 1 John 5.
You know what I don't like about the stuff that we go through as Israelites trying to teach? I don't like that, like all the other Israelites, they don't want to be Israelites. Like, I would want to be an Israelite. Like, why would you not want to be the chosen seed of the Most High?
It's just something they got to go through, man. The Most High said he's going to chastise Israel, right? And through scorch and pain, that's how they're going to come out of it. We're living during our corrective moment right now. This is all correction for us. You got Hosea 8:8? Read that.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 8, verse 8. Israel is swallowed up. How shall they be among the Gentiles? As a vessel wherein is no pleasure.
Right, so we're swallowed up amongst the Gentiles. Go back to James 2 and go to that part about, you don't keep where's the faith? It's 2, chapter 2.
Chapter 2, verse... For he shall have judgment without mercy.
Yeah, about the faith. Faith in law. That's 2.
Yeah, did you ever make it to go see that movie?
Which one?
The Nat Turner one?
No, I might see it tonight.
I might go see it maybe tomorrow.
Book of James, chapter 2, verse 20. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead?
What?
Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seeing thou have faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect.
Right, so works and faith go together. Laws and faith go together. Abraham had it, Christ had it. So all the way through, we had it. All right, read that.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 31.
What?
Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law.
We what?
We establish the law.
We establish the law. So all through the scriptures is telling us to keep God's laws. Okay? When we bring out these scriptures, our job is to wake up our people and show them the base basis of understanding through what? The law. King David kept the law. If you want to be great like King David, you got to do what? Keep the law, right? Did King David have faith? Yeah, he had faith. What do you think the whole book of Psalms is about?
To be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone, and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.